a story I will tell about a bloody battle that was fought on Shillow's Hill. It was
At the outset of the Civil War, there was an expectation that the fighting would be quick and neat. Soldiers happily marched into the first Battle of Bull Run, not knowing the carnage they were about to face.
At the end of that first battle, the Confederate Army was certain of their victory. They thought that just because of that battle, the war would be theirs. But soon after, their confidence was shattered with early losses. With the loss of Forts Henry and Donelson in February, General Johnston withdrew his disheartened Confederate forces into West Tennessee, northern Mississippi, and Alabama to reorganize. General Johnston led the rebels into Pittsburgh Landing and immediately began penetrating through the large numbers of unprepared, inexperienced soldiers. It appeared as if this would be an easy victory for the Confederates. They were so confident that when Johnston and his soldiers broke through the Union front lines into the camps, and they began rummaging and ransacking through the Federal supplies, Johnston actually wielded a tin cup in his hand instead of a sword to lead his troops.
However, General Grant arrived by boat down the Tennessee River to gather soldiers from Pittsburgh Landing and gazed upon his young soldiers being dominated by the rebels. He kept his composure and used his military aptitude to guide his soldiers in preventing the rebels from winning the battle. The Confederates easily took the Federals' right and left flanks until only the middle, led by Generals Grant and Prentiss, was left. This remainder of Union troops fell back into an area known as the Hornet's Nest. The Hornet's Nest was a thick wooded area that was an ideal place to defend from. The Union soldiers repeatedly held back a number of poorly organized attacks from the rebels. General Prentiss and most of his division was eventually captured as the Hornet's Nest was surrounded and overrun, but not before inflicting severe casualties on the Confederates. Meanwhile, in the peach orchard to the east, General Johnston was killed by a stray bullet while leading his men.
The Union was now motivated and hopeful for a possible comeback and victory for them in this battle. With more than 20,000 additional reinforcements along with General Buell sent down to Pittsburgh Landing to aid General Grant and his soldiers, it was decided to attempt a surprise attack back at the Confederates early the next morning. The Union ambushed the rebels well before dawn and completely caught them off guard, leaving them off balance. Surprisingly, General Beauregard was able to rally his 30,000 soldiers and took a firm stand against the Union.
However, the Yankees' greater numbers would inevitably prevail against the rebels. The Union's troops managed fairly quickly to push the rebels back to Shiloh Church, and after losing a large number of troops, Beauregard soon realized that retreating was the right choice. The Union was in very high spirits now after routing Beauregard's men and reclaiming their camps and territory.
Up to this point in American history, the Battle of Shiloh was the bloodiest battle, with a total of 23,746 casualties. The Union claimed victory in this battle. However, of the 23,000 deaths, 13,000 of those were Union soldiers.
Prior to this battle, people thought the Civil War would be a simple and orderly conflict, but after the vast amount of casualties and way in which the Union reversed the direction of the battle, it was clear that the American Civil War would not be an effortless disagreement. This battle also led Union General Grant to take control of the Memphis-Charleston Railroad and later Vicksburg, which resulted in him gaining control of the Mississippi River, which split the Confederacy in half, and would ultimately lead to the Union victory. Additionally, the Battle of Shiloh gave General Grant the reputation of a true military leader.